Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandor Gaming, and this is my Blue Dolphy deck profile post OP07 pre-release. I'm super excited to say that this deck is just absolutely amazing and absolutely terrifying. I think Blue Dolphy is a sleeper leader going into OP07, and I think he's going to definitely make some waves in the local scene and definitely in the regional scene. This deck is absolutely a blast, and we got some really great cards to show off to you all today, which makes me really excited. Now, the ratios are still being tested, so this is not the final list for OP07, but this is definitely my first starting list of the week, and we'll see how it goes through testing next week once OP07 officially starts. Now, I will be playing a lot on the sim, so this is my current sim list, but I am willing to make some changes and definitely some adjustments. The newest issue that Blue Dolphy suffers now is he's suffering from success, because we have finally got to the point that we have so many good 7 Wars of the Sea cards and generic blue stuff that we finally have to start making the tough cuts, which is the really hard thing with this leader. Up till now, since Memorial Collection and all the way back to OP01, we just played all the best blue stuff and all the best 7 Warlord stuff, and we're still doing that, but now it's gotten to the point that every card has to be calculated perfectly, and I'm still figuring that out, because there are cards I want to include in this list so bad, but I just can't fit in a 50 card list. That's one of the big issues I have with this game, that you can't max your deck out. Like, you have to play 50 cards. You can't have under 50 cards, and you can't have over 50 cards. I wish I could play over so badly. There's so many times that I feel like if I could just fit 4 more cards in this deck, it'll be absolutely perfect. But because of the rules of the game, we can only play 50 at total. So this is what we gotta do. So if you don't know, Blue Dolphy has the effect when he has 2 Dawn on him. When he attacks, you may rest 1 Dawn. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a 7 Wars of the Sea with 4 or less costs, play it rested. It's a very powerful ability. He is the original Gecko Moria. That is a black leader from OPO, I believe, 5 or 6. 6 actually, is OP06 when Gecko Moria came out. He is just absolutely phenomenal. He's a 5 life blue leader, and he is just fantastic. And finally, Bandai has given him the respect he deserves, because we also got amazing Dawn for him. This is brand new Dawn that came out of OP07. You can see all 7 of them, and it's just absolutely glorious. We got Bafalmi, Kuma, Gecko Moria, Boa Hancock, Draco Mihawk, Doflamingo. We got the best of the best here, which is absolutely insane. And only time makes this deck better, because we are getting the new Blue Dolphy structure deck post OP08. I have a whole video tomorrow dedicated for that, so just wait for that. But I was just too excited. Originally today was going to be just going over all the new blue cards we got revealed for the structure deck, and just all the new cards we got in general for all those structure decks. But I felt like it's OP07 pre-release weekend. I just finished the deck. I gotta post the video today. It's for my boy. He's the boy. So let's just go straight into this. So first things first, we are playing 2 10-drop Kaido. This card is absolutely a phenomenal card. This card is absolutely insane. On play, if your opponent has basically 3 or less life, you get to draw 4, which is just absolutely insane against decks like Red Purple Law, or just decks that just have 4 life inherently. This literally just says once you get to 10 Dawn, you're just going to be playing a 12k beat stick that just draws you 4 cards, which absolutely is insane, especially since you get to stack your deck. This card just refills your hand and just puts all the pressure in the world. It's one of the best blue cards in the game for a reason, and that is why it's a must-have 2-up for this leader. It is just incredible, and I wouldn't play without it. The next card is 2 Draco Mihawk. If you are a fan of Blue Dolphy, you know I have cut him down to 2. I see a lot of lists cut him out entirely, but I don't know if I can make the assessment yet to cut him down to nothing. Draco Mihawk is just an insane card. On play, he gets the bottom deck of 7 or less costs. I think there's still plenty of good 7k characters especially going into OP07. I just need the bottom deck. Not to mention, he's just a large monster playing onto the field to put pressure, which is just absolutely insane. If you go against a deck like Katakuri, or a deck that's playing like the 7K Big Mom, or the 7K Hody Jones, or the 7K Kid, this card literally says, cool, get rid of it, which is absolutely phenomenal. Next card we are playing is 2 Boa Hancock. I am testing her. A lot of people cut Draco Mihawk for her. She's absolutely insane. She's a 6K, 8,000 on play. You made the, basically, she gets to freeze a character other than Monkey D. Luffy for a whole turn. And then basically she gets a bottom deck at 1 cost or less character, which is just really, really good. Helps you deal with decks that are like really weenie, that play like 1K blockers or just have vanilla search cards. This card is just really, really good in general. It helps you freeze against big monsters like 10-drop Big Mom, which is just absolutely incredible. If you don't have access to Red Rock, this card can freeze that card for a turn, and then it gives you a turn to find it out. And even if it doesn't, it is a 6K vanilla. Oh, it's a 6-cost 8K vanilla, which is absolutely incredible. Next, we are playing 4 Edward Weevil. He's just a 4-cost 6K that we play off later that draws us 1 on play. This card is a Memorial Collection staple. I didn't like him at first because he doesn't have a counter. And some part of me doesn't like him still because he doesn't have a counter. But the idea is that since we're playing him for free off Dolphy ability, or just when we play him in general, he technically is a counter because most likely he'll draw as a counter when we stack our deck. And in that case, he is a counter. He's just not in the counter in the sense that he himself is one. So you don't want to see many of him in hand. If you see him in hand, you just want to play him just to get him out, because he will draw you into something better, which is always great. Next, we're playing 4 Gecko Moria. Now, this is a debate. I want to still play 4 Gecko Moria. I know the Boa just replaces this card. It is just a vanilla. A lot of me just wants to cut this really, really badly. But it is still a 6K body that we can play off leader, which is very, very good. Not only just because of 6K pressure on our opponent, especially turn 3, turn 5, it's just really, really solid. But also it's easier to protect than a 4-cost vanilla that's like 5K, because they can just easily just swing a leader into it. We got a discard card. This requires them to at least put a Dawn on leader to swing into it, which is still really, really good. Also, it helps us against decks like Edward Newgate and Monkey D. Luffy that are just inherently 6-cost leaders, because basically without any Dawn put onto Gecko Moria, you're forcing them to discard a card, which is really, really good. One of the biggest issues with Blue Dolphy for the longest time was just swinging at your opponent's face when you had 6 characters. Edward Newgate used to be oppressive against his deck. Now it's just a wash. Next, you're also playing the 4 Gecko Morias. This card is absolutely insane. This is the other 4-cost 5K that literally just has the ability on play to add a 7 Wars of the Sea or Thriller Bark Pirate type from your trash to your hand, which is absolutely insane. It's just a really great card. This card's always going to be a 4-of in the deck. It's just a really, really good card in general. I will show you what I would replace the Gecko Morias if you want to, because there are cards I did have to cut for this list, so you tell me in the comments what you would do. I still like him just because he's a 6K, but you all tell me in the comments. But next, we are also playing 4 Jinbei. This is our first brand new OP07 card. This card is just absolutely phenomenal on play. You get to play a 7 Warlords of the Sea card that is 4 or less directly from your hand. Basically saying if you play him off Dolphy, you get to play any 4-cost or 7 Warlords addition to your ability. So for your ability on your 3 Dawn turn, you can not only swing for 7, but also play 2 bodies onto the field with the equivalent of 8 Dawn. On your 3 Dawn turn, you're using 10 Dawn, which is absolutely incredible. Jinbei is a power card. You want to see him as much as possible. He is just a fantastic body. Next, let's talk about 2Ks. We're playing 4 Dracula Mihawk. This card's always been a staple. I got the Winter Dolphy from OPO, I think 5 or 6. I forgot when I won this thing. This card's just absolutely incredible. Basically, it's just a vanilla 2K. It does have the ability that you put a Dawn on it, you can draw 2 trash 2, which does come up because we are playing a lot of non-counter in this deck. So this card actually being played isn't too bad because it allows us to filter the cards out of our hand that are just not doing it, which is really, really good. Next, we're playing 4 Crocodile. Now, this is a 2K that I absolutely love. This card is essentially amazing. On play, you may rest 1 Dawn. Return a character with 2 or less to its owner's hand. So not only is it bouncing, you can bounce your opponent's cards, but you can also bounce your own cards, which actually comes up. You can bounce back your Perona, so you can then restack your deck, which is absolutely insane. Also, it just gives you free counter if you do that. So this is a really, really good card. Next, for our last 2K, we're playing 4 Trafalgar Law. He's absolutely amazing too. This card is not only a 2K, that's also a 4 cost 4,000, but you can also, during the main phase, return to the hand. And then if your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, they have to shuffle 1 back into the deck, which is absolutely insane. It doesn't trash it, it shuffles it back into the deck, which is absolutely insane. So you can Perona them, swing, make them have 6 cards, play this guy, rip the card out of their hand, and just keep going. This card is absolutely insane. It's a free 2K played off leader, and just a really, really fantastic card. Now, this is the first controversy, and this is why this list is definitely not final. We're only playing 2 Charlotte Puddings. I've had her at 3 ever since she came out in OP05, or actually OP06, my bad, OP06 when this card came out. I really want to play 3 still. I'm not going to lie to you. I really want to play 3. I'm thinking of getting a Gecko Moria for it. Pudding is just such a great card. Now, to be honest, you only have to ever resolve her once. So there is an argument to be saying you only need her at 2 because once you see her once, you're good. But sometimes in a 50-card deck, you just never see her. They could just be at the bottom of your deck, and you're just fucked. So I really want to play 3 just so that I at least see one of them, and I can say, hey, at least I saw it, and I shuffled their hand back. Because against decks like Green Uta, Whitebeard, Enel, all those decks, they really want counter in hand, and they really want cards in hand, and Pudding literally wins you games. It also wins you games against Blue Luffy. Not Blue Luffy, my apologies. Black Yellow Luffy. To be honest, actually, you know what? I'm making the executive decision. We are playing Charlotte Pudding. We're cutting a Gecko Moria. Fuck it. I don't care. We are playing a 3 Charlotte Pudding. Even though she's not a 7 Warlords, she's just too insane not to play as a 3 of. She's basically just rips like 20 cards out of your opponent's hand. She's just insane. I feel like you should just play her at 3. 4 might be too much, but I think 3 is just the right ratio. Sorry, Gecko. I wish I could fit 4 of you, but honestly, I think this is just for the best. Next, we're playing 4 Donquixote Doflamingo. This card's always going to be a mainstay. This card on play looks at the top 5 cards of your deck and stacks it. Not only that, it's a 3 cost, which works really well in curve. But it's also a blocker, which is just absolutely insane. And then for our final monster, we are playing 4 Perona, which is just absolutely incredible card. Ever since we got this card back in OP01, this card's always been a staple in Blue Dolphy. I will say once we get the one-piece structure deck in the form of Buggy will be replacing Perona, which feels great to say. But until then, I think you still got to play this card as a 4 of, unless you just want to play a pure 7 Warlords build, and you don't play any new cards. You just play 57 Warlords cards, and you don't play any way to stack your deck besides him, and you just be like, I'm always going to play a character off leader. We don't need a stacker deck because we're always playing a guy. I like that build, but I think it's a little too risky. Finally, you're playing 3 Gravity Blades and 3 Red Rocks. These ratios, I feel like this never change. I want to cut Red Rock down to 2, but at the same time, against decks that are just playing big bodies, we need the outs for them. So I feel like until decks like, we need more Red-Purple Law decks for Red Rock to be cut. But until then, with all these decks like Enel and any deck that can play a 10-cost character, we just need a way to remove them, and this is just the best card to do it. Gravity Blade is a must-have for any format. This card literally just gets rid of 2 bodies. It's just crazy. It puts so much pressure on your opponent. It's just insane. And yeah, guys, that is it for the deck profile. This is 50 cards. I don't know what I would cut. I really want to put in, I almost want to cut a, what's it called? Weevil, and put in Boa. Now, I'm not going to cut all 4 of them, but I want to cut maybe I cut another one of him, or I cut one him, and put these in. I really love this card. This card came all the way back in OP01. I don't have it in this list because I just couldn't make space. I really want to play it, but I don't know what to cut for it. Maybe I cut one of the 2K blockers, because to be honest, I've only ever played just 4 2K blockers ever in Blue Dolphy. It feels weird playing now 12 of them. Maybe I can just cut one of them, but I don't know which one I would cut. I don't know, guys. You all tell me in the comments what you think. I really love this list, but at the same time, there are cards I want to play, like Boa, that I just can't find a reason to fit in. I think she's insane. She draws you a card. She's a blocker. She's just absolutely incredible. I really want to put this in the deck. You tell me in the comments if you think I should put it back in. You tell me in the comments. I don't know what to do. But I think these ratios are pretty standard and pretty solid. But again, this deck needs some testing. So you all tell me. Bye-bye.